Bonjour and welcome to Marie+One. I'm Marie and today's plus one is Lester Watts.
Hi.
Hi Lester, how are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. What about you?
Good, thank you. I'm really happy to have you as a guest.
I'm really excited. I'm nervous, excited, and really looking forward to see how this goes.
Nice. So for those of you who don't know Lester, I talked about you a lot, I believe, in every episode when I thank you for the studio space. Lester is the owner of Albuquerque the podcast studio, and but before I introduce you myself, would you like to introduce yourself in a few words?
Sure, yeah. Well, I'm Lester Watts. I'm currently running Albuquerque podcast studio and Watts multimedia, sorry. But more than that, I'm just a survivor of life, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old are you, Lester?
24.
24 or 34?
24.
24?
I am 24.
Okay, this is new to me too. I didn't know you were
never
this
expected that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people, they even get surprised when I told them my age, or they look at me weird.
Yeah. Well, I'm more like, I'm not looking, I'm sorry if I do look
No,
weird,
not
but
you. I can't say that for
I'm impressed. Heck yeah, I'm so happy for you. That's great. That's
Thank you.
Crazy. So, okay. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
So I have two sisters. I'm the only man. And I do have a brother that is not a blood brother, but he's just my brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where are you with your sisters in the mix? Like, are your sisters older than you? Or
Yeah,
are you
I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest?
Yeah, I'm
okay.
the little one.
Nice. And so where are you from?
Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so your main language is
Spanish.
Spanish.
Yeah, Spanish.
I'm so sorry because I don't.
That's
speak
one of the
Spanish.
reasons why I was nervous, because this is my first time like on an English podcast.
Well, you're doing amazing, and that's why I was
you.
super excited to have you on because you have an incredible story, but also and your English is really good, and I'm
Thank
just
you.
really
I appreciate that. I don't think it's really very good yet, but we'll get there.
Oh,
we'll
yes.
get there for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so you're from Dominican Republic, so you were born there.
Yeah.
When did you? Okay. I'm gonna try not to go too fast. Let's see. You have your brothers and sisters. You're 24. Who was young Lester?
Oof. Wow.
What did you like to do how is it in Dominican Republic?
So it was amazing. I think I have a pretty interesting childhood growing up. I love to go to the beach. I love to go to the river. I loved sports back then, and I developed my passion for videography and graphic design early on over there too. It's Dominican Republic is an amazing country, but it's also a huge judgmental society. I don't know if that I say that right.
Yeah. No, yeah,
but,
you do.
Like people judge a lot based on a lot of stuff like appearance, how you look, and what you dress and stuff like that. So when you grow like that, it's kind of cohibited. How to say that? Close mind.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So I started designing and wanting to do videos for that purpose, because I kind of wanted to share what I believe and just share messages without all that comes with it, So I found that as a pretty interesting way, since nobody really could tell who is making this content, who is making this design.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's funny you say that because I feel like it's a very American thing to dress how you like. Like, I feel like in America you can go to the store in like pajamas.
I love that.
And nobody's gonna look at you weird.
Yes.
And it's the same in Europe. At least for me, growing up, everybody's judge everybody.
That is not good.
You can't have a bad hair day or or show up like.
Do you guys have things over there like with the hair, with the styles of hair, like people with kind of more messy hair like mine, like have to keep it shorter and stuff like that?
I feel like there is a big issue with that, with a lot of like people with afro hair that are not really, that are trying to like straighten it or be like European style in that, you know, I feel like now maybe it's changing a little bit just because of, you know, the world hopefully changes fast. I wish it was changing faster than it actually is going, because I feel like a lot of people with different types of hair, different than me, because I have like really like, I'm the typical European looking woman, try to fit in the European standards because it's looked down on, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah. You know, we have a pretty similar situation in Dominican Republic, but me growing up on the school, I always have to cut my hair.
Ah,
They make me cut my hair because this kind of hair that I have, they say is not appropriate, and they say you cannot have an afro because it calls too much attention. But then I have friends that have like fine hair and they don't say anything to them. And that was crazy.
that's shocking to me,
I mean, it's
because
still like that nowadays. So
I feel like, I mean, in Dominican Republic, it's mostly, I mean, I hope it doesn't sound racist what I'm going to say, but it's mostly like, you know, African type people, right? African looking population.
we are a
so
mix of
it's a mix.
yeah.
See, I don't know enough. But oh, how interesting. So it's everywhere, huh? Racism about hair and
Yeah, but it's like racism with your own people. Like,
yeah, that's
it's
even
crazy.
crazier.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry about that. That's
No, it's
crazy.
okay. You know, like that's how we grow up. I'm you know, that teaches you stuff.
Yeah.
It's good and bad.
That's true. It's crazy because see, like, for me, I have like straight hair, but whenever I can or I have time, I love to curl my hair, and I love to just learn more about other cultures. And I feel like most of people like to just stay in their own culture and kind of like hate on each other, and it's so sad because, but because I mean, there's so much in every culture. Every culture is so rich and so beautiful, and you can learn so much. And the food from, you know, certain
yes,
culture
the
more than
food.
others is like, right? So, and so much more food, music. There's so much, like, many fun things to learn about each other. And despite, like, in Europe, people being like judgmental of each other, I feel like for me, growing up in Brussels, I grew up in the capital of Belgium. It's like a big city, and it's super, how do you say that in English? There's so many different cultures in Brussels that I feel like I was lucky in that sense that I learned to just like, you know, embrace each other and just love every culture. For me, growing up, the only thing that was really hard is that some religion or culture were really closed off and kind of like imposing their own choices on other cultures, and that I have a problem with. I love everybody's differences, but if you force your difference on me, then I have a problem.
Yeah.
So and you know, circling back, I hate that, you know, people force you to like comb your hair or straighten your hair or cut your hair. It's like, it's your hair. Like,
Yeah, I know.
how do you process that as a child when you have to just
You know,
look different?
it's a conditioning. Since you're really tiny, they start conditioning you to that. So you don't see it as a bad thing. You see like that's correct. You have to kind of grow up and understand and start questioning like, why do I have to do this to
Yeah.
realize that is not right. But like my parents, they were used to cut my hair down like that. For various reasons, pricing, you know, you're not gonna be going to the barbershop every weekend, so
Yeah.
they're like, just give it the lowest one that you can, so it grows slower. And then when you start going to school, like you can have it a little bit longer, but not like fades or none
Right.
of that like cool stuff. But you know, I have a friend, Alicia. She has a huge afro, like huge. And I remember one time, she didn't comb it. She just went with the whole afro like that, and they told her she has to do something with it, and they actually have her mom to go in, and her mom was furious. She was like, she's not coming here.
It's her hair. Like,
She's
what are
not
you
co-
talking about? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, but you know, you just kind of accept it growing
Yeah.
up. But eh, I don't really have a problem with it, even though it's not right. You know?
Yeah. Because we are not even talking about, like, clothes that could be like, I don't know, even though that's not another subject, and I feel like everybody should be able to wear whatever they want to wear. But, we're not even talking about, or even like, I can't even think of anything that would be acceptable to just say you need to do something else. Like, if you have like I don't know, a super mini skirt or whatever, and people would be like, oh, maybe it's not appropriate for school. But your hair, it's like, it's a part of you.
It's a part of you, right? Like, that's natural.
Like, can you please cut your arm because your arm is in my way? Like, I don't know.
Right.
People, it's,
It's crazy.
oh my God. It's,
Crazy.
it's so insane because, I mean, to me, for the most part, my whole life, I've been putting my hair up in a bun, or I didn't pay attention really, or I just wanted to have volume or curls. And it saddens me that some, culture, or ethnicity, they have to like pay attention to that, make sure that, yeah, it's, but when did you move to the US?
It was on 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so yes,
Beginning of,
not too long ago.
yeah, not too long ago at all.
Did you speak English before moving here a little bit?
Not at all.
No?
I knew how to say hello and my name is, and that was pretty much it.
Wow, Lester, so you learned so much in the last 3 years.
Yeah, kind of have to though. Like, I have to
Right.
find a job, and they didn't speak Spanish at the first, so I have to figure it out.
Right?
Yeah.
Ah. And so, okay, what made you move to the US?
So I was on college on Dominican Republic finishing multimedia, and COVID-19 hit, and I was at that point kind of making myself a lot of questions. So it's even worth it to finish it. I have like I believe like 4 months left to finish. So I paused it, and I just decided I'm gonna work. So I started working, and it worked out good for a while. On COVID-19, I was able to have constant work, but then that period it was for contract, and it finished, and then I couldn't find a job.
And that was in Dominican Republic.
And that was in Dominican
Okay.
Republic. I couldn't find a job, and I was at that point still living with my parents. Then I moved out from my parents, and I still living with started living with my brother. And at that point, I was just doing all kinds of different jobs, cooking, kitchen, so whatever it has.
Okay.
We have to get some food because it was rough. So at that point, man, I'm like, you know what? All this that I'm doing, I know is really valuable on other countries, but on my country, it's not so much,
Right.
and they don't pay well. I mean, here is kind of similar. We were talking about that the other day, but it's kind of worse over there with payments and that kind of stuff, pricing. So I decided, why should I just try to like do this, but on this country? And I just went ahead. I'm like, I contacted some people. I got in contact with my cousin Darley. He's a DJ here on Albuquerque, and at that time he was doing a lot of events, and he needed somebody to do the graphic, the flyers for it and the videos. So it kind of fit perfect. So I'm like, you know what, let's give it a try. And I came here, and I started working in that, and kind of went from there.
Yeah. When you came here, did you come alone? Are your sisters still in Dominican Republic?
All of them still there. I came by
your
myself.
family? Okay.
Yeah.
And so you said you have a cousin here. And I know, okay. I'm going to lead you there because I don't want to say it for you, but do you have someone in your life, someone special?
Yeah. I have my wife and my daughter. It's really special.
How did you meet your wife?
Dancing.
Okay. Can we know a bit more?
Of course, yeah. I love to dance. I've been on the dancing journey since I got here. So I was too shy to do it in the Dominican Republic.
For real?
Yeah, and there's really good dancers over there, and I know they was just gonna judge me if I didn't did it right.
Okay.
I was really shy
okay.
over there. I kind of start being more open when I came here, start meeting new people and stuff. So I was dancing on this event that my cousin was DJing on that event. And we just there vibing, and she was dancing. I was over there, and she knew my cousin. She went up there to say hi, and I'm over there with a bottle of Dominican rum. I believe it was Barceló. It's like a really I love that rum.
Oh, okay.
Barceló, yeah. And I'm like, do you want some? And she's like, sure. And then she take a shot, and she's like, what the hell is this? She like couldn't process it. It was too strong for her and stuff. And we just started talking from there, and went on. We really like to dance. We were used to go almost every weekend, honestly, to dance salsa, bachata, merengue, cumbia.
Music to my ear. I just love all that. I love all that. I think on off time, I told you that I used to dance salsa and bachata in Belgium.
That's nice.
I loved it so much.
How is it over there, though? Like the community,
Well, it's funny because in Brussels you have like different kind of like neighborhoods in the city center. You have like the Chinese neighborhood, and then the African, and then there's like a little small like Hispanic community, because it's a mix of like then Hispanic from Spain or from Ecuador or Dominican Republic.
Nice.
And so and there's like this bar that's called the Cartagena, and it's
Cartagena.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's not a good name.
I have no idea what it means. I just love
that
saying
is
it.
a place on Colombia, I believe.
Oh, see?
I don't know if I'm right, but
Okay.
it's somewhere in it's a city, I think. Yeah.
Well, it's a bar in Belgium in the center, and before they open, like an hour or two before they open, they have classes, and so you learn to dance the salsa or bachata, and then the bar opens, and you have just like regulars coming in, and then you can just dance with everybody.
That is really nice.
That was
That's cool.
so fun, because then you can just practice what you just learned.
Yes.
And I just loved it because growing up, I had so much. It was so hard for me to love myself and my body, but I feel like when you dance salsa or bachata, it's such a sensual, but also you have to feel confident to dance, because if not, you're super stiff and it doesn't work.
It's not gonna look good.
And so for me, going to dance, it was almost like I was a different person, and then I was allowing myself to just go with the flow and just dance. And sometimes in the car, I still have some of the songs on my playlist, and I'm just like
in the car. Yeah, I totally get the feeling. Yeah, I love to dance when I'm doing dishes, cleaning. Yeah.
Yes. It's amazing. And so can we know her name?
Yeah, she's called Lisa.
Lisa?
Uh-huh.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And my daughter is called Isabella.
Oh, daughter Isabella. Okay, Lisa and Isabella. Okay, so you met Lisa dancing.
Yeah.
And so you said she's your wife. So how did that go? So did you guys start dating pretty fast? Like, did you guys know that you were just meant to be?
I don't know. Like we kind of just like letting the vibe flow. We were just like hanging out, dancing, and then we're just like, we like each other, so let's give it a try, Nice. And and from there on, we have our daughter, like 2 or a year and a half later, something around there. So honestly, we didn't have plans yet to be married, but we're like, well, what are we waiting for? We already have a daughter together, and we've been together, and we like each other, and so we just went ahead.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And it's funny because you're the first dad that I have on the show.
Oh,
so
feel special.
Yes. And so it's funny because your daughter is pretty much the same age as my son. So how was it for you? Like, how did you learn that Lisa was pregnant?
Oh, wow. Well,
how did she tell you, or did you guys? Was it planned?
That was intense. Yeah, that was intense because actually on that point we were going through some stuff in the relationship, and I believe we were, if not we were trying to like give us a time and stuff. And then she told me, and it was funny because now we laugh about this all the time. But I told her, I think you're doing that because you want me to stay with you.
Oh.
And I'm like, I didn't knew. And then she showed me. I'm like, oh, so this is truth.
It's
It
real.
was just weird for me, like after we go fight and stuff. Like, oh, you're pregnant now. I imagine her,
Yeah.
what she was going through at that point, knowing that she was pregnant, and we just laugh about it now.
Yeah. The timing was a little.
Yeah, the timing was a little awkward, but I got over it pretty quick and just. It took me like 2 days to actually start being like, oh, so I'm going to have a son or a daughter. That's exciting.
And did you guys decide to know if it was going to be a son or a daughter during the pregnancy?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yes. Yeah, I wanted to know right away.
Yeah, same.
Because, at that point, I wasn't here. So when she told me she was pregnant, I don't remember if I was working or not. But the point is, I needed money, so I got a construction job for a hotel, but that requires me to move to Mississippi. So I lived in Mississippi for I don't remember how many months. I believe it was like 3 or 4 months while she was the first months of the pregnancy.
Wow. Okay.
So I wanted to know as soon as possible because I
yeah.
was far. I'm like, I wanted to know what it was.
To be included in the pregnancy too. Okay. And all right. So what was your first reaction when you learned it was going to be a little daughter?
I was scared. I was honestly, I always wanted a boy. I mean, me. Like I think every man has that thing. But with women, it's scary because it's just hard for I don't know. Just you see world differently.
Right.
At least I see a world differently if I had a son than if I have a daughter. This is different stuff. So I got scared at first, nervous. So am I even gonna be able to be the dad that she deserves and everything? I did a lot of thinking, and I was far, so I have a lot of time alone there to think about all of that stuff. But it ended up being good because it pushed me to do what I have to do to turn into what I want to be.
Okay. And so it's funny because I feel like on podcasts and the posts and stuff, all the focus usually is on the mom, right? How was the pregnancy? How was the delivery? How is your postpartum doing? And we don't usually ask the dad, about his experience and how he's doing and stuff. So I would like to do that with you today. How did you experience the pregnancy and then Lisa giving birth to Isabella and then the first days and up to now? What was your experience being a dad?
Well, I know my experience wasn't even close to how bad her experience was. So first thing, when they were putting the epidural thing on her, so they missed, I believe, and they did something with that. Like they messed that up, and I believe they have to do it again. That was just
no.
She was really bad. I was really bad. And he was like a new guy or something like that. That was doing that. It was just messed up, It was a really stressful situation. Me there not knowing what's going on. And then she told me how that happened. I'm like, whoa, hold on. So you just tell me you almost end up with no legs and stuff
Yeah,
like
because you can't be paranoid if they miss. Yeah.
So you're just telling me that almost happened to you. I'm like, oh, but I'm pretty religious too. I believe in God. I was just kind of praying there in the room, like, hopefully everything goes well and stuff. My mom was on the line, trying to be there on the phone, like, And then she came, and I think there was no complication. No, I don't know. There was no complication with she coming out. What was nice, but that first like when I saw her, like, okay, it's here. Like, this is no joke. This is truth. Like, this is happening. She's right here.
Mhm.
Like, that kind of shocked me. Not gonna lie. Like, it kind of shocked me. But then I just hold it, and I'm like, at that point, honestly, I felt a little bit scared, but also like a little bit not knowing what to do. Like, okay, this is a tiny baby that hasn't even opened her eyes. What do I do? And I felt like that for a long time. Actually, it's funny because I was talking with one of my friends about that because he had the same experience with his son when he born. Like the first months that the baby is not really able to talk to you, look at you, or nothing. It's like, well, okay. What do I do
What
with
do
this
you
thing?
do? Yes.
And I felt like that for a long time. But like when they start like looking at you and talking to you, like it's just kind of melts your heart. But we were talking about how different it is from the men to the women because we kind of get more in love with our child as soon like when they're growing.
Yes.
But for the women, it's like as soon she knows she's pregnant, she already has a connection with that,
I
with that
understand.
baby,
Okay. And it's
like,
funny because
I didn't feel that connection until she grew a little bit.
yes, yes, and it's funny because I feel like there's also a lot of pressure on women and dads too, but to feel a connection, right? Because some women, like for me, when they put my son on me, like to me, it was like the most insane experience of my life. Like I felt that instant love for my son,
That's
and I started
amazing.
crying, but
Yes.
it was tears of just so many emotions, the joy and the seeing him and finally, meeting, because you feel him. And that's also crazy is I feel lucky as a woman to have been able to feel him in my belly and just,
Yes.
go through that. And it's hard because for you, you kind of like you're on the sideline and, you can
Yeah.
touch, but it's not the same. So, but some women don't feel a connection right away, and it takes time, kind of like you too, or like dads, and
And that is okay too.
that's okay. Yes, to
Like,
learn
we don't
to
control that.
yeah, learn to know each other and kind of But I agree with you. It's wild, this like feeling of it's not like it's it's my baby. Like I mean,
Yes.
I can't if I put my baby down, then I'm kind of the one that needs to pick him or her back up because I'm the parent,
Yes.
I'm not going home later and it's over. It's like a full-time job forever.
Yes.
But and I agree with you too. Like I just had the that feeling too. I just found some pictures last night of my son like a year ago when he was about to be 1 and now he's about to be 2. And he changed so much already, and I'm like, oh my god!
And
And
it was so fast.
yes, but also it feels like you said, it feels like it was so long, but at the same time, you think back and you're like, so many things happened. It went by so
many
fast.
things, yes.
But you go through it, and like right now, we're going through a really, really, really long phase of my son not sleeping well. And I feel now that it's been a really long time since he hasn't really slept a full night sleep. And but it's gonna go away at some point. It's gonna change, and it's a constant change. And that's also crazy because I don't know about Isabella, but my son Jean-Pierre, he's starting to say like little words and stuff. And for example, now he loves seeing birds, and so he goes out and walks around the house, and then he sees birds on like the electric lines or whatever, or a tree, and he's like ook ook instead of look. He's like ook ook.
That's so cute when they start to say little words.
Oh, okay. And then this morning he was just playing with his cars, and he was like, what? He wasn't making any sense in what he was saying, but he seemed to have to that he was in a full conversation with his cars, and he was like and we were just looking at him like, it felt like a hug to my heart. Like, no, it was
As a parent, like you can spend all day long
just looking
watching.
at them.
Yeah, it's like a movie.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Do you guys want more children? Do you think, or
So there was a situation. We tried to have another one, and it didn't went well. She ended up having a miscarriage. So I decided I really not down to try it again,
Okay.
But I don't know.
I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay. Stuff happens.
Yeah.
But like once you have the girl or the boy, you always wanna like the match. Like if you have the boy, you want the girl.
Right.
If,
Yeah. And the thing is, for me, I mean, you have two sisters, but I have three brothers and three sisters. So for me, I come from a big family, and despite everything that's happened, and that some of us don't talk to each other. I mean, that's life. But I loved growing with a big family, and so I'm like, I want to give that to my son too, for him to be a big brother and have a
That's
lot of
really
brothers
beautiful.
and sisters. But Lester, it's so hard. It's so hard right now. I'm like, I want to have more children, but I mean, we're hustling. Like we're all hustling, right?
Yes, we
but
are.
it's like I don't have time right now to to do the dishes. So I'm like, do I have time to have another child? I don't know. I don't know. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, it's so rough because life goes by fast, and it's hard. But is where's Lisa from? Is she from here?
Yeah, she born and raised.
Born and raised in Albuquerque?
Yeah.
Okay. And I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? Let's see. Born and raised, you guys are married. Do you plan to go back to Dominican Republic, or do you think you're just gonna?
I would love to live in Dominican Republic.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I have to travel the world. I would like to travel the world. See just every little corner.
Yeah.
But so far, there's no place like my house. There's no place like my home. I really look forward to at some point being able to just go over there and take my daughter over there so she can kind of have a different. I don't want to say it. I don't want to make it sound like in a bad way, but
No, yeah,
a
experience.
different cultural experience. Yeah.
Do you speak Spanish to your daughter?
It depends. If I'm mad at her, for sure. If I'm like, I speak English when I'm nice, and when I get mad at her, I
It's
cannot
Spanish?
speak English.
Yeah,
The same with my dogs. I cannot yell at them on English. It just doesn't proceed.
No, yeah, I feel you. It's funny, I was at work yesterday, and I was scanning packages, and one wasn't scanning, and every time I'm mad, or it's French comes out.
Yeah.
And so and then my colleagues were laughing around me. They were like, "What are you saying over there?" I was like, "You don't want to know."
You don't want to know, and that's a plus. I like to have that benefit. Well, for me, it's not so much of a benefit because everybody speaks Spanish here. So if I say something, they probably will understand.
Yeah, that's true.
But for you, it is a benefit.
yes.
You can just let it out.
Oh yes, and it's funny too because I speak French to my son, and so sometimes we go to the store, and I don't know how it is with Isabella, but Pierre, my son, he was so good in the store. And then all of a sudden, it's been like 2-3 months that he just wants to be in my arms. He doesn't want to go in the cart when we go grocery shopping, or he doesn't want to walk. He just wants to be in my arms. And then he's whiny, and he's a child. That's okay. But sometimes it gets to your nerves. You're human, so sometimes
After
you
all
just
day long.
you're like. And so I speak French, and I'm just like, Jean, t'es vraiment chiant. And so that means you're really annoying, but nobody understands it. So they're all like, oh, that's so cute. You speak French.
You know.
But also, I'm also taking advantage that my son, he understands me. Don't get me wrong, but as soon as he's gonna repeat, I need to stop saying that because I don't want him to realize also that I'm saying that it's not good. But
I have to work a lot on that part. I was thinking about that the other day because I have something I don't like, and it's with my dogs mainly. My dogs, they get me mad. Like, I have 3 dogs, and they always fighting, and I have to go out there and separate them, and they don't listen, and you have to yell at them for them to listen, and so they have a specific word that is a bad word in Spanish.
okay.
Yeah,
You can
Spanish
say
people.
it.
It's coño, and as soon they hear that word, they just understand. Okay, I have to run now, or I have to do something to stop what I'm doing. I have to take an action. So sometimes they're not listening, and I just yell at them. There's Corazon, Fiona, and Daisy. They Corazon, coño, and she's like, oh, shit. And then I hear her the other day trying to do the same yell at them, that I'm like, oh, if my mom hear her saying that, she's gonna be mad.
Yep,
She's
yep,
gonna be
yep,
mad.
yep, yep. Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, I have to work on that. Even though
Yes.
like it's Spanish, and she's gonna know at some point that's a bad word.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, no, for sure. And that's why for me, I'm lucky that if my son says the bad word, nobody really would understand him either. Which is funny too, because my husband's family, they don't speak French either. And so anytime that my son tries to say something, anything, they look at me like, did he say something in French? And I'm like, so is that what French sounds to you? Because he's just like, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, he didn't say anything. He's not talking yet, but you know.
That's probably how it sounds to him.
Yeah, that's probably. And so, did your mom already visit you here with Isabella?
Yes, my whole family.
Oh, okay.
They did when she was I believe she was in Nigeria. It was like months after she born. And then she went over there with my wife last December.
Okay. Okay. And that's fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Does Lisa speak Spanish too?
She's learning.
Learning?
She's learning. She can say like basic conversation.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I can only say hola, me llamo Marie.
Yeah, you know, like
No habla español.
you'll do a lot just with that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But it's funny because there's some similarity with French, so I want to learn, but I feel like I could have some, like, it could be like easier for me, but like, you know, there's some word like bienvenido is like bienvenue, or, you know, it's like, it's always my first example, but I don't have a whole lot more. But I feel like it could be easier, but I love Spanish. It's so beautiful. It flows like salsa and bachata. It's like so.
I like to learn
Precious.
French. I always been inclined to learn French, and honestly, like I have a list
Okay.
of languages. Like after I learn English, I don't know. It's just like I want to learn more, you know. And on Dominican Republic, you know, the island is divided with Haiti, and they speak Creole.
Creole,
Yeah. So it's pretty similar to French.
Yeah, that's
too.
a mix of French and dialect of what is Creole? It's a mix of French and I can't remember what other language.
I'm not sure, but it sounds
Yeah,
like pretty similar.
It's
And they actually over there in Dominican Republic, when I was on school, they teach us English and French. Now I didn't pay no attention to that class because that teacher, we just spent the whole class making fun of that teacher because we were kids and dumb, you know.
right. Yeah, you know what? I hear a lot of people that want to learn French, so maybe I need at some point to try to teach some French. I don't know. It would be fun,
That
but
would be nice.
yeah. So okay, let me think. So Lisa is learning Spanish, and so okay, I want to know. So you moved here 2022, and okay, you did some work and stuff. How did you think of making this space, like the podcast studio? How did it start? And you know, what made this all happen?
Oh, I think it goes back to when I was in Mississippi. I told you I had a lot of thinking there about what am I gonna do. So I think that moment right there is where my hunger for something valuable in life, because you know when you like working shitty jobs, just doing whatever it takes to get that, that's not kind of the life that you envision once you have kids. It's like, okay, this is I don't want to do this. I don't want my daughter to see me doing this. So I started I think the first business that I tried to start was a clothes brand.
Okay.
Clothing brand. And I wanted to design clothes, and you know I was just learning about how was it called, drop shipping, I think it's called.
Yeah.
I was kind of learning, and then I was kind of learning where to get the stuff and how to print it, but it just didn't win. I just leave it aside, and then I just try, okay, what I do is video, so I started with multimedia first, and I try to cash clients, like for video promotions and graphic designs. That worked for a bit. And it's still, it's still going.
Uh-huh.
It's just now the studio is kind of its own thing, separate from that, you know. So um, it was right when my daughter born. I was taking care of her when, because my wife have to go back to work, and at that point I was just able to leave my work and just take care of her. That ended up being cheaper than having to pay
Oh,
the
the daycare.
yes.
Yeah.
So I did that, and at that point I just started doing a lot of research, and I found a dude called Tom from Chicago Podcast Studio, and I think he was the first one that kind of did it mainstream, how to do a podcast studio, and kind of is it worth it or not. So I started researching into that because
Okay.
you know, I didn't see it as a podcast place. I saw it as a multimedia hub. Like you have cameras, you have microphones, you just have everything. So it's not just for podcasts. So I decided, okay, let's do this, and
Right.
I showed it to my wife, and I'm like, hey, I think we can do this, and I know everything that we have to do. Like we just need to get the capital and get it going, and that's what we did. We just did a lot of planification. I was months of just like so we went to the first studio. I even made the, you can call it blueprints, like a 3D, like how I wanted to
Oh
look
yeah.
before, way before we even have
Nice.
money for the space. And we just started doing like a bunch of planification and daydreaming and just dreaming with it. And I'm like, okay, at the point that we were ready, we've never been ready, honestly. We never been ready. It kind of been just like doing
Just
things on the
one
go.
day at a time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I decided, you know what? I also on the side, I like to repair motorcycles. I have a business called Morena Garage where I rebuild
that's
motorcycles.
okay.
And I have the time 3 motorcycles on my garage. And I told my wife, you know, I'm just going to sell all of them to get the rest of the money that we need. And we're just going to buy everything. I want to buy everything and make this go. I don't want to have to
Wow.
go back and have to get another shitty job that I like
Yes.
for no purpose. Because that's the thing I always say is the purpose of the thing that makes experience even good or bad. So I did sell the motorcycles, got the equipment, got the space, and got the website going, and we're here now.
Yes.
Never regret it. It was hard at first, having with all the responsibilities of running a family, also having to try to pay for a business, but it worked out. We just never stopped dreaming of it. We just never believed it was impossible. Never had a single thought of, okay, this month we didn't have nobody showing up, show we close. I never had that thought. I'm like, somebody will show up the next month, don't worry.
Yes.
And it went like that. Yeah.
Wow. And then I met you. I'm so, it's so insane how life works sometimes. 'Cause I mean, and your wife believed in you
Since
and your
day
ID
one.
right away, huh?
Since day one, I really appreciated that because she's been really supportive. I really appreciate that. Without all that support, I don't think none of this will be possible.
yeah.
You know, like
It has to be especially when you take a leap of faith like that, when you try something new, you have to have your partner's support because not only it's money from the family. That's what I'm right now with. That's where I'm at with Joshua too, because work is getting slower, so I'm getting less hours. But I'm paying for the podcast, and I'm not saying anything about my payments and
You're
stuff,
good, you're good, you're good.
because I know I have a payment coming soon.
No, you're
But
okay.
I mean, just being honest, like we have, I'm paying for the podcast, and so like Lisa, he believes in the podcast and in the project so much, and he says we'll figure it out no matter what we have to do.
Yes.
But being like you having the studio and me having the podcast, being the one that's like taking that step and choosing to, take some of the family money to input in our dream, it's so scary because you're like, well, if it doesn't work out,
Yes.
will be okay, but still it's a huge I can't think, the risk.
Yes, it is. It is a risk, and,
Yeah.
and we need those risks.
How long has the studio been open?
So we officially opened on September of last year. So I believe close to 9 months. 10 months.
Wow, so it's gonna be, oh, that's
Not even
crazy.
a
Yeah,
year,
that's
yeah.
right. So, so I contacted you right when you opened.
You were actually the first client that you. So you were our second client that showed up to the studio, and you were the first client interested on the plan, and the first client that actually bought the plan, and then you disappear. And I'm like, oh wow.
Sorry, I know. Okay, so
Well, you told me you were gonna disappear, so that's acceptable.
At least,
yeah.
yes, at
Yeah.
least I let you know. I forgot about that
Yeah.
episode. Yeah, so just to be clear, so I started the podcast, I think in like September, October. Funny, we started at the same time, but I started with just recording myself, and I thought that I was actually gonna have Joshua, my husband, he's a graphic designer too, just film it. And it so happens that the first episode was supposed to be filmed, but for some reason we were blurry, me and the guests. And so I was like, yes, I was like, well, so that's not gonna go good. And so the first 2 episodes ended up being just audio episodes. But then I was like, no, this is what I want to do. This is so exciting. I want to keep going, but I don't think like all other podcasts that you see, there's always video. And so I was like, I don't think it would be smart to just keep going with just audio. And so I was trying to look, then I was like, well, my husband is too busy, so I was like, well, I can't really count on him to film, and I don't want to put that pressure on him either. So I was like, I need to look at the studio. And so I looked, and I found like one other place, but it was, I don't know, strange place. I don't understand how to book that, and it was weird, and was linked, I think, to the university for tours, or I don't know. It was special. And then I found you. And right away, I thought you've been established for years because you everything was so on point. Your website, everything.
Thank you.
And then I contacted you, and you were like, "Yeah, let me ask my team and stuff." And so
I always try to make it look like we are established business.
But that was so
it was
smart.
just me back there with my personal number. Or
I love that because that's so smart. Because right away, I took you so seriously, and yeah, you were like, wait, because I asked you because I saw the plan, and I was like,
basically my team was just talking to my wife, and I was
Yes!
like, so hey, we have this guy, these people, and they want to do this. What should we do?
And it's funny because I remember when I called you, you were like, let me ask my team and I'll call you back. And I took you so seriously because I pictured
You probably over there imagine a 10 people
Yes!
thing.
I imagine you like calling, being on a conference call and be like, okay, so we have this new person. But that's so smart
nothing close to
because right away you take this position of you're serious, right? You're this serious studio, and and it goes this way, and you made me sign a contract, and and yeah, I think that was really smart because there's this expression that says fake it till you make it, right?
Yes.
And so
and I think something that really guide us towards that route is all the time, because I told you we opened on September, but that was like a whole year or probably more than that before just planifying and studying and dreaming it. So we finally came. I'm like, okay, we need to make this work somehow, even whatever it takes. I gotta make it work, and that's what pushed me to kind of have everything up on the website, the social media, the phone, and everything.
Yeah. So no, honestly, I was so impressed when I found you, and everything looked so professional. The setup. I mean, for a super young studio. I mean, you heard what Frankie said in the last episode. He was like, he had already like people ask him to be on podcast, but he said the quality wasn't there. So I said no, and then he said I saw you, and yeah, you're a young podcast, but the quality is there. So he was like, yeah, sure. So
I was really grateful.
Yeah, you're bringing the quality.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so I'm so happy. It's been such a journey, and I wouldn't be here without you and the podcast, the podcast studio either.
And we wouldn't be here without you too. Like I say, you were one of the first was Thomas, and then you showed up, and
Nice.
that kind of give me the energy that this is working.
This is
you know,
working.
like,
Yes.
people are interested.
Yes. So what? Okay. So I think, I mean, you've been here for all the other episodes so far, so you kind of know. I've been saying that I want ultimately the podcast to be on the road, and then maybe we can even collaborate on that
course,
eventually
yeah.
too. But and interview people all over the U.S. and the world. But so how do you see the podcast studio evolve? What is your dream for?
That's a good
For
question. I wow, there's a lot. So I would like this studio to not be kind of just a podcast or oriented. So that's why we started building the cabin. I would like to bring a space for artists too, so they can record their music. But I think the next 5-10 years, my main goal is just like get as much people get to know that we actually here, and with that just keep growing, bigger space, better equipment, have somebody here helping me would be amazing.
Oh, yes.
I want to get to that point so bad. And I was talking with my wife about not make just this studio, like just reply that in Santa Fe, reply that on other parts of Albuquerque, because we have people from the west side that they say, oh my gosh, this is a long drive to get here, and it is if you come from the west side.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I come from Edgewood, so it's like
yeah, and Albuquerque, like this area is like that. You have Los Lunas, all far, Edgewood, all far, and so I would like to in the future be able to reach those people too,
nice.
and somehow help this community too. I don't know how we might be a good fit to help, but I just wanna do something that this community could benefit from, because I really like this community.
Nice.
Like, I love the people from here, man. I love them. Yeah. I wouldn't be living in another state, honestly.
Okay.
If I move, I will move back to the Albuquerque,
Right.
another
Okay.
state.
You would move back home, but not anywhere else in the
And not
US.
anywhere else in the U.S. I'll live here in New Mexico.
Okay.
Maybe I move to like Taos or something like that, like more mountain.
And it's funny because I feel like that's what they say about New Mexico, right? The no-coast state, because we have everything. We have the mountain, we have the forest, we have the desert, but we
Yes.
don't have a ocean. We don't have like a coast or that you probably miss from home.
Allah.
So, what else do you miss from home? Do you miss what's your favorite dish from home?
Wow, that's a good one. My favorite dish is gonna be locrio. So that is basically a chicken mixed with rice, and you can include a salad on the side, some avocado, a banana. It's just delicious. My mom was used to do it all the time, and when she came, actually, I'm like, mi vieja, please make me that. Oh my god, that was amazing.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think it's my favorite probably because I eat it a lot.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, it's easy
Okay.
to make,
Yeah.
so fast. But something that I really miss, of course, is the water rivers. I was used to live like not even 3 minutes far from a river, not even 5 minutes far from the beach, and it was a tiny city. Like everything was pretty close to the. So I grew up every weekend going to the beach with my friends, and that was the weekend plans. Like we go to the beach and we go to the club. That was what we do every weekend. So I miss that, and over everything, I miss the vibe of my people, my language. We have our own words. We have our own ways of kind of interactions that I really miss a lot. I have my people here too, but it's not the same.
Oh, it's different. It's different.
Yeah.
And is it the same? Like for me, what I miss from Belgium too is walking everywhere. because
Yeah. Oh,
everything's so
you mentioned that you have to
yeah.
use public transportation and stuff. Tell me about that.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
it was so fun. So the thing is, you can have a car, and a lot of people have a car, but everything is so close that it's actually faster to walk or use public transportation than to take your car. And so like I used to go to work, and it was like a 40-minute walk to work.
Wow,
But
that's a long walk.
yeah, but see, the thing is, in that case, like it probably, like the car for that case would have been faster because it would have probably been like a 15 or 20-minute drive. But to take the public transportation would have cut it to 30 or 35 minutes, and walking was 40 minutes. So I was like, I'm not going to pay public transportation. I'm just going to walk. And that walk was through a giant park, and it's called like the King's Park because it's like right in like across or and around the King's Palace. Mm-hmm. And because we still have a king in Belgium. And so it was a 40-minute walk through the park and kind of like a foresty area, and it was so nice that it was kind of a way for me to just, disconnect, like walk in nature before going to work, like kind of like set my mind straight for a day of work. And then after work I had 40 minutes to just take my mind off of it, relax, and then get home and stuff. And it was a 50-minute walk to go to the city center, and it would have been way faster to take the public transportation, but I just loved walking. And in Brussels, there's always a park, there's always like interesting like shops or like a fountain, or there's always stuff to see. Here, if you like, nobody would walk more than 10 minutes because there's nothing, like it's just plain emptiness. Yeah. You just and there is really no like sidewalk. You just see cars, except of course if you go to Old Town, that's a really nice area here in Albuquerque. Or you can go on trails, but nobody really walks to the store unless you live in the center.
Yes.
And
it's hard with this sun, like.
That too, yeah.
That too. I don't see myself walking 100 degrees out there.
Yeah, no, that's true.
But it's really nice that Dominican Republic is pretty similar. People just walk everywhere. And public transportation is the thing. Like I grow up using public transportation to go everywhere. There's a lot of tons of motorcycles, tons of them. Most of people can't afford a car yet. so tons of motorcycles. And the beautiful, when you take like all the bad, like, okay, it's hot, I don't want to walk, right, and all that, you actually start like enjoying the experience of just like listening to your music, walking through, and you mentioned it's like a park. So I believe that's just de-stressing coming back from work. It's just like you get home.
Oh yes, and you just see like squirrels go up trees, or birds, or you see a little rabbit walk, like, or other people, just families just walking around the park.
Yes.
And it's something, it's so different. And also it's interesting because I feel like here, for some reason, because it's funny how we say that we miss our home countries because of the walking and being like outside and stuff. Meanwhile, people are, I feel like, not mean, but like you said, judgmental, and people don't really, in Belgium, don't say hi on the street unless you really know it's your neighbor or something. But here, I feel like people are so much nicer. Meanwhile, everybody's in its own car, driving everywhere kind of separately and stuff. But I feel like then when we meet at a restaurant, or when you see people on the street or even in a park, people are more like, are smiling and are gonna say hi really to you. It's so different.
That I haven't noticed. So I've been on New York, I've been on Mississippi, and that's pretty much. Okay. I've been in Florida too, but that was a long time ago. I was a kid, so I don't remember a lot. But I don't remember on like these big crowded cities people being that way. Like that's a New Mexico thing. Oh,
that's a New Mexico thing. See,
for me, that's why, because like they're just so nice. Like with the Spanish community, like I have encounters with people, like one day I was driving to my work and I have to stop to let these people go, and I'm always jamming my salsa on my car, always. and they just look at me over, and I'm like, what are these people looking at me? And then she started dancing, and I threw my windows down, and he started dancing. There were a couple, and then suddenly I'm out of my car dancing with these random people. You know,
Right?
like that was just
Yes.
like an amazing experience that I live right in front of Albertsons. And I remember like one people that work on Albertsons, he come out with his car, and he's like looking at us. So we are
Uh-huh.
like, I don't give a shit.
No,
It's
we're
like,
just grooving. Yeah. Heck yeah.
But you know, like on crowded cities, I feel like people are more, you know,
Yeah.
like just
Yep.
just stay on your life, and I stay over here, and we could, you know, they like will not approach you or say like hi or good morning like that, like they do here.
It's funny because it makes me think of I went to South Korea for 1 week because my grandpa was a volunteer during the Korean War. So every year the Korean government invites grandchildren for a week of commemoration. And so I got to go when it was a bit ago now. I think it was like almost 10 years ago. No, more. 12 years ago now. Okay, life goes by
Time
so
flies.
fast. Okay, so I went for a week, but the fun thing with Koreans though that I experienced is that they're really on the street. People are gonna push you. They're focused on their thing. They're not, they don't say hello. But as soon as you're like part of a conversation or you meet them or you see like at the restaurant, they're super friendly. And because of the war and everything, they're super thankful. And so they're like, oh, thank you for your help. And it's like, well, I didn't do anything, but because we were part of like the delegation that was, coming for the commemoration, everybody was just so nice to us and always thanking us. But we could see really the difference between when you see like Korean people on the street that are like, focused on their thing and so rude. And then once you like talk to some, and even like in our group, like we were splitted in different groups. And so in my group, I had a British girl, there was me, an American girl, and a Korean guy. And he was telling us that too. He was like, oh no, if we don't know you, you're a stranger and we're going to be so rude to you and we're not even going to calculate you. But as soon as your friend, like, we know each other, then they're like
good.
super nice. And it's like, okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I guess like that's good and bad. That protects you from bad intentions, bad people. Like that's how it is in Dominican Republic. Like we are pretty we are scared everywhere. The Dominican Republic is a country where they will rob you if you have your phone outside. So you like always watching your surroundings. You don't trust no real people that you don't know.
Okay.
You just like what you want from far.
Right.
Number of they always get more creative ways to do that.
That's crazy. So okay, so I'm trying to think. So we got your favorite dish. Well, how did you say it again?
Locrio.
Locro?
Locrio de pollo, yeah.
Locro de pollo. Ooh, okay. I want to look that up and I'll try to put a picture on the screen.
Yes, I can send it to you. Yeah,
Yeah.
There's different. You have locrio de cerdo that is basically like we pork meat. Like you can do it with different meats.
For different meats? Okay. What is your favorite dish from here?
From here, carnitas play.
Oh, yeah?
I love carnitas.
Okay.
I love carnitas, carne asada. I love enchiladas. Oh, it's hard to pick one, man. It's hard to pick one.
New
like,
Mexico food is so good.
I love Mexican seasonings.
Mexican,
Yes, yes.
Have you been to Lindo Mexico, the restaurant from Aritza that was here on the episode?
I haven't. I'm not
You have to,
really
it's so
a good restaurant people. I don't usually go out and eat at restaurants. I'm more
Okay.
of a cook at home person.
Okay.
But I would like to. I would like to use like a Sunday,
Oh, yeah, you have to. And then it was funny. It's funny because I don't know how Isabella is at restaurants right now, or you say you don't go out much to eat out. But for us, like same, my son was like so good for so long. And now he can't sit for more than 5 minutes. So, it's like they have like the little booth. And so my son is like just living his best life, walking on the booth and looking around, and the music is so loud that he can be crying or yelling, nobody hears.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice.
And
Yeah.
service is fast and it's good, and so honestly I
I
recommend for
definitely want
sure.
to try it.
Um,
Yes.
and yeah, and we could go. I mean, if you we can go and do a like double date, go with Isabella and Lisa, and I'll bring
Yes,
Joshua and my
yes.
son too, and that would be fun.
I think that the only like Mexican place that I have tried from here is being Filiberto's because I have
okay.
one
I've
close to
never
my
been there.
house,
Okay.
but it's not like a restaurant. It's a fast food.
Uh-uh.
Fast food. But,
Yeah.
but that's pretty much from the Mexican side.
Uh-uh.
I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. So I feel like you're still young, but
Yeah.
what did you dream of becoming when you were younger?
So many things. So many things. Like I was a kind of kid that anything that I do, I see myself doing it for life, kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
So when I was competing, I was used to compete cyclism, and I wanted to do that for life.
Oh, wow.
I was competing on
Oh, yeah, athleticism.
yeah, that, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, see, that's another one that's similar to French.
Yeah, so I was doing that, and I wanted to be that for life. But kind of like when I grow up, I would just be always inclined with computers, so I knew I needed to do something tech
With
in that route,
technology. Okay.
So when I went to college, my dad wanted me to do networking. I don't know like networking, like data and that kind of stuff. And I started doing that career. Didn't like it. First semester, I got out and got into multimedia. Because before that, I had an experience where I have to work at a TV channel on my city, and I was really right next to the graphic designer, and I was just like controlling like when you put the ads and stuff. I wasn't really doing much, but I spent like the whole day watching him, and I'm like, that I think I like that, and I just told him that's probably what I wanted to do. I was already into photography, but I was doing more of a model than a photographer, but I was just kind of on that route.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and did multimedia, and since then I just knew it. This is my stuff. This is what I'm gonna do.
It's crazy because from listening to you, I feel like you touched a lot of different things, right?
A lot. I have done so many different things in my life. So many different jobs too.
No, but that's good because
That's crazy.
I feel like similar to you, because I mean, growing up I did so many different like student jobs too. I cleaned, I didn't cook, but I was like I did a lot of like sales job, like when I was like in a chocolate store in Brussels, and then I sold clothes, I sold cooked chicken, I sold a bunch of different, like I was like a salesperson in different like type of companies, I want to say. Then I was a budget expert, and then I worked here in Albuquerque as help for the, what is it, Amber Care or whatever. So you go to people's places and you help them clean and cook and take care of themselves, and that job is really not well paid, and it should be because you're a help to people. It's crazy. And then I was a assistant for a wedding venue. And then I started sewing my old clothes and accessories, and then now I'm starting the podcast. So
That's
like you,
crazy.
but you know what? It's, to me, I feel like that's how you learn who you are and what you like.
Yes, that teaches you so many things. Like any experience that I have been through, I appreciate all of them because they always teach me something, even though they're bad or good. That doesn't matter. So like. I was the kind of kid that kind of I think that I have trouble finding what is it, since I like so many different things. But at the end, I understood that first you don't have to do one thing.
Oh no,
Like, that's something that when I was a kid, I'm like, this one thing, right? You don't have to do one thing. And secondly, in this life, as much as you can learn about anything, is gonna help you at any point. Like, oh my gosh, like there's so many things that I will never see myself doing. Like so many works that I'm like, I never see myself doing this stuff. And even today, something, let's say, break at my house, but I already know how to fix it because I did that,
Yeah.
And it's like, I just appreciate all the different experiences and all different jobs and all different sports that I practice and all of that.
And so were you like a big athlete, like, or did you just like to try different sports, or like you said you really wanted to? What did you do in the athleticism? Was it more like running, or what type of?
So on athleticism, I was doing 400 meters and 100 meters. So we 400 meters changing people, like we go, then other one until 4 people go.
Yeah, Belgium.
And that was when I was was.
Yeah, Belgium is big on that too. We have a big like competition.
French people are fast, man. They're fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was on the school team, and I was competing, and I never lose.
I love it.
Never lose. Yeah, I know. I'm pretty competitive since kid, so that's what kind of make me the way I am. Like when I wanna do something, I want the best at it. I'll put the work into it, and I get there.
Well, bringing it back to the studio, Lester, you just started it, and you're already, to me, the leading podcast studio here in Albuquerque. Because
thank you.
Who else is? You right away you just brought the quality up there.
Hopefully. Hopefully. I study some studios. There's a studio that is pretty good, but they're not like podcast oriented. They're more television oriented.
I think that might have been the one that I saw. And then you have other studios, but they were more like for photographers, like, right? Do you rent your space for people to come take pictures? And I mean, I saw that you have in the back, you guys probably don't see, it's that curtain right there is a curtain that's like takes the whole wall, and I guess you could have people coming to shoot
do pictures. Yeah, that's why.
Why not? And then I feel like you have some storage space too for like decoration and stuff. I mean, that's also extra. I'm the same as you. I feel like I always have like a million different questions, and super exciting. Like before I left to record this episode today, I was talking with Joshua, my husband, because I was like, I'm so excited because so you're my guest today, and I might actually have another guest for next week, but then it's a little slowish in terms of like guests, and I feel like sometimes I have like 3 or 4 people all of a sudden that want to be guests, and then it's it's a little slower, and so, but it's okay, it's the beginning, and it's how it's gonna be. But we were talking, and that's really what I want to keep doing. And he was like, yeah, but see, like with that, you can branch out and do so many different things. You can have your own merch. Because I was like, I can't wait for the time where I can have like glass cups with like my podcast logo and pens and stuff. And he was like, yeah, and you can have your own shirts. And I was like, because for a moment too, I wanted to like press shirts and stuff. So it got me so excited, because then all of a sudden, again, I'm just like 10 steps ahead, and I'm like, oh my God, yes, that would be so fun, and we would be doing this, and that. And so I think that's when that you found your passion, or you found something that you really enjoy, is when you can like project yourself and be excited about it.
Yes, and enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Like everybody enjoying his way, but when you were able to hold a normal day-to-day Monday to Friday without feeling it like you hate it, it's just like you look forward for next Monday to be in there. You made it, man. That's
and see, that's the thing too. I feel like since that, even though I still have like a regular job on the side, I almost don't know what day it is anymore. Because you just take it one day at a time, but also it's not like I'm waiting for the weekend. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm just like anxiously be like, oh my God, I hate my life. Friday cannot be here soon enough, and it's going to be the weekend, and then, it's Monday again. It's been such a crazy adventure that it's almost like, wait, what day is it again? Like what? Okay, tomorrow we're going to do this, and that. But it's not like I'm dragging my feet anymore, and I really wish for everybody to find that, even on a regular job, because see, the thing is, I feel like we need every type of people, right? Because we need every type of jobs.
Yes.
And so and that's why for me it's so frustrating that sometimes, no, not sometimes, all the time, all those service jobs like the servers or the cashiers or the care people, they're not being paid enough. And they're just being looked down at. Oh, they're just flipping burgers in McDonald's. No, well, we need someone to flip that burger.
Have you flipped those burgers?
Yeah, right?
They're not easy to flip.
No, but see, for real, it's like, come on, dude. Like, why are all those jobs minimum wage job or even under minimum wage and tip, like, you know, they
Tip
rely on
base.
tip and stuff. I'm like, that makes me mad. But
Yes.
how is it in Dominican Republic? Do you tip?
There's no such a thing.
Yeah, in Europe
I
either.
don't know what that is.
Right? Okay.
I remember my dad like tipping maybe 2 times, leaving tips like on restaurants and stuff. But tips are there. You can leave tips
can
if you
tip.
want.
Yeah.
But most of people are not really. People live the life day to day. Most of people on most of the population is living the day to day, just getting some money to eat that day. Like you're not gonna thinking about tipping somebody. You know what I mean? It's just no.
Yeah, but see, in Belgium it's different because servers, they have a salary. They have and yeah, you can live a tip, but they have a good salary. So
Right.
it's not about like here you have to tip because they're just being paid $2 an hour. So you have to tip, and it's like, okay. It was so weird for me coming here.
I know, for me too. I remember my wife telling me like, "Oh, we should leave tip," and I remember the first time she told me that. I'm like, "What do you mean leave tips? For what?"
right?
You know, I didn't understand it. Why do I need to leave a tip? and then I just understood, and now, I am doing Uber Eats on the side. The studio been going, I tell you, the studio been going slow, so I'm doing delivers, and doing that, like, you kind of get it, man. That's tip based. Like,
Right.
all that you do is based on tips, and there's some people that make you drive 30 minutes, and sometimes they
don't
haven't.
tip.
Yeah, and that pisses you off as the driver. You know, like, you're spending your gas, the app doesn't pay you barely nothing. But there's a good people that so I kind of understood that, you know. I'm like, they need to be tipped, so I've been trying to tip, probably
Right.
not as much as I
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to, but what I can, you know.
Yeah. And I feel like sometimes that's rough too, because some people would like look at you depending on how much you leave for a tip. Like they look at you like, oh, that's all you leave. But sometimes that's all you can afford to leave too. You know, it's like,
Life
well,
is rough.
you know, yeah.
Groceries are expensive, babies are expensive. Like, we all hustling here.
Yes, yes, sir.
But I'm pretty like I say, if I can, you know, my wife made me a question the other day. She asked me, why do we even tip the drivers? And I told her, you know, I think I'd rather tip a driver that is bringing you your food to your house than somebody that is just bringing you your food from the cooking table to your table where you're sitting down, if you put it into that perspective. Because at the end, the work that a driver is putting in is just way more. You have to go to the restaurant, wait for the people to make the food, take the freeway, go to their house. You know, a lot of times there's apartments that you got to find, and that's not easy.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, people still sometimes don't tip, you know. So I don't know. She just asked me that question, and it makes me think like the different jobs and why we tip different jobs. And I do think that there's some jobs that, come on, you know.
To
Like,
me, I think, you know, I think people, there's definitely exaggeration. For me, like the other day, I went to wash my car, and the dude that was like, after, I think, that was just telling me to like start the car again after you're done like washing. No, or I don't know. It was someone there
It's like
that,
the
or
people that
taking
kind
the
of like,
payment. That's like,
oh.
do you want to leave a tip? And I'm like, no, I'm already paying $15 for
And why
just
did
to
you
drive
tip?
through.
Like-
Yeah, I'm not gonna leave a tip. Like, huh?
Right.
Don't exaggerate. And
so yeah,
but the thing is, for me, it's funny that she asked you that question, because for restaurant, like for servers, I feel like it's not up to the customer to pay the server's salary,
it's up to the restaurant.
right?
Yes.
And so, yeah, I mean, if the server, is friendly and forthcoming, and and because it's important to have like a good personality, yeah, I don't mind leaving a tip. But at the same time, it's their job to bring. I mean, it's okay. Okay, I don't want to have enemies. Okay. So it's kind of, it's like for me at the post office, when I bring someone his package, it's my job to bring the package, to that person. I'm not going to ask that person to give me a tip. You know what I mean? It's the post office that's paying me to deliver that service to the customer. So that's why I'm like, well, the restaurant should pay that service, that to their servers to deliver that service.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I feel like that's such a touchy subject because, in America, that's a big thing. But it's also a really hard job and stressful. So I'm like, yeah, I think they should be better paid. But I think something just came out. Joshua told me that apparently now the tips are not taxed anymore. Like there's just like something that was voted, and that the tips for servers or any type of jobs that gets tip, the tips are not. You don't have to get taxed on it for the tax purposes. So I mean, whatever helps servers, that's a good thing. But
that is nice. Yeah. Yeah, I remember I worked on 2 restaurants actually. I was cook, and it was like that tip base, and it makes me a lot of questions, because what the restaurant is paying you is not really a lot of money. But they are making a lot of money, but the people are paying you. So straight up, just the owners of the restaurant get the money clean, and they make their customers pay their employees. Like, I don't know, when I start thinking about that, I was like, come on, man. Right. Yeah, but like you say, this culture works different. I have to understand that and just accept it. Like, right. It's just that's how it goes here. Even though I think it's weird. I think
right?
It's weird.
Yeah. And it's even weirder when you come from a country where it's not like that.
Yes.
And it seems to work, right? So you're like, hey, why is this different? So there's something else that's really different, and I know that it's not the same in Dominican Republic. Is like the firearms, like the guns and stuff. We don't have guns in Belgium. So yeah, same. When I first moved here, I was like, oh yeah. And first time I was actually 18, and I went to visit my godfather in Texas, and we went to Walmart, and they had a whole aisle with guns. Yep. And I was like, what is this? I was like, oh, you just go to the store and buy a gun like you buy
what's the minimum age
piece
here
of
to
bread.
get a
It's
gun?
like, yeah, so no, that's been another very...
Do you know the minimum age?
Oh, to get a gun here? I don't know. Is it 18 or is it 16?
I don't know, but either
or
those
21?
are not good. Either 3 of those. In the Dominican Republic, you got to be over 30 in order for you to get a legal.
And I think you can get legal firearms in Belgium too, but that would be for like hunters. If you hunt, or not just like anybody can get a gun. And don't get me wrong, there is still crime. We get crimes, everywhere still. But yeah, we definitely don't get school shootings. But yeah. I mean,
this is interesting from 2 people that are not from here.
I know. I have really that type of conversation.
Because that's what, if they ask me what is the thing that I most hate about this country, I would say the guns. I don't like guns. I'm not a gun people.
Same. And the thing is, I'm super scared for my son and my future children because, at first I always said I'm going to homeschool my son.
Me too, yes.
Because that's my biggest fear. And then you hear also so many other stuff, like young kids being like offered drugs super young. And I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, that might be everywhere, but...
That is crazy.
Yeah, and then the gun, and then, like having the super like security. And if you want your child to be in a more secure school, then you have to pay more, and it's already so expensive. So it's like...
Homeschool.
I don't know. So yeah, no, and like you, we would love to travel. We would love to just travel the world and see. And I feel like that's typical of our generation. Is that I feel like I don't know what your parents do, but my parents, they've been in that mentality of, you know, you work until you retire and then you can enjoy life. And I'm like,
No, not for me. No,
no.
thanks.
And that might be like crazy for some people to hear this, but I'm like, no, I don't want to travel the world and enjoy life when I'm 60, you know.
Nope.
I want to, don't get me wrong, I want to hustle. And it's funny because I have a colleague that when I told her that I was doing the podcast, she was like, when do you do that? Because she was like, you work here, you have your son, and you're doing that on top of it. I was like, yeah, we're hustling here. Like, you know, there's no time. You have to just, you know, we'll sleep later in life.
Yes.
It's rough, but yeah.
You know, I think about that. It's not like, I don't think it's about doing one first and one the other. I think it's find the balance of how can I do both. How can I hustle and enjoy my life? Because, you know, I think I appreciate a lot and I enjoy a lot the process of like, example here at the studio, troubleshooting when something goes bad and I have to figure out what's wrong with it. It might be stressful, but then it gives me certain satisfaction. And I don't know, it makes me feel some certain way when you fix a problem like that. And it's with that with a lot of things in life. Even with the most simple things, like there's just an enjoyment on every single. I don't know. It depends how you look at it too.
Right.
Like some people definitely don't think like that. I like to try to see the positive on everything and try to enjoy the experience. Every people that I see at the store that I have the opportunity to interact with, if it can bring me a smile, so that time was worth it, you know. So when I think if society kind of looks more into that perspective, you don't have to wait until you are
Yeah,
so
60 to
old,
enjoy.
like,
Yeah.
because you know there's a standard for some people of certain things are happiness, and that's not true, you know.
No, yeah.
That is subjective to everybody. For you, I think travel make
Yeah,
you want to
yeah,
travel
but-
and do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but also simple things like honestly just taking a bath or having a nice time with my son, like going on a walk with my son and my husband,
Yes.
or just being home and my son is asleep and then we can finally sit down with Joshua and watch a show and just chill on the couch. You know, the little I'm learning to enjoy and really be happy with the little things too.
Yes.
And then, but then, you know, like I posted earlier like a giveaway. By the time the episode comes out, the giveaway is going to be done already. But I was so happy. Like you start seeing people liking, and every time someone fills the form or is saying that I'm doing a good job and they want to be part of the podcast, I'm like dancing and jumping, and I'm
That
so
feeling,
happy. It's like
it's unexplainable. Like
I know, and now I'm chasing that. I'm like, okay, next. But yeah, it's like, you know, what makes you happy, Nestor?
a lot of things, honestly, like tons of things. I don't know what to say.
Okay.
Day to day, like I can be happy sitting in the backyard with my daughter, playing with my dogs. Like I'll be happy here working.
Yeah.
Or but I there's a lot of things too that I think like, oh yeah, I wanted to do, like one of my dreams has been like jump from the planes, with the
Oh,
parachutes and
for real?
stuff.
Okay.
I
Uh-huh.
always wanted to do that, and I like
What's it called? Skydiving?
yes, yeah, something
Uh-huh.
like that. And they have more dope stuff now. They have like jet skis that you put in the water, you can fly and stuff. If you haven't seen those, they
No.
attach like to a jet ski, and it throws water down and it pulls you up and you kind of fly. Like I want to try all those
Right.
things, but I think if you know how to, kind of balance that work life kind of thing, it's
It's
possible.
possible.
It's possible. Even though like with family, something that my wife was used to tell me a lot is, oh, we have a daughter, we can't do this. I'm like, why not? bring her.
Yes.
Bring her. We're not gonna
Yes.
stop our lives and be all bored here at home because we have a child. No, we go
No.
camping still. We're still doing all this stuff, and we just bring her with. But it's been a process. It's been a process.
And so, Lisa, I am so sorry. I don't know you. I've never met you, but I love you. I promise I'm not going to see this in the wrong way. But for me, I grew up with my parents being like that. Oh, we can't do it because we have the children, or we can't, and but the thing is, we would still do stuff like go visit castles and go to like a swimming pool or whatever. But also because we were so many, we had like group prices and stuff. But all that being said, my parents were always saying that, well, if we didn't have so many children, we would have been able to do this and that. I don't agree. And I mean, I don't have that many children yet, so it's easier said than done, of course. But now with my son, we go, for Cinco de Mayo, we went to the restaurant Lindo Mexico, and it wasn't easy because there was a long line, and, and we waited, and my son wanted to run everywhere, and it was complicated, but we wanna make a point to do those things, to go on hikes, to go to the restaurant, to go have fun and do stuff, and because it's easy to say we can't and let's just stay home. But like when I had just I don't have like Friday, Saturday, Sunday off often because it's just how my schedule is, and usually so I work Saturdays, and I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. And so we were like, oh, let's do something. And we went and we rented a little cabin in Tiburon, like that's after like Cloudscroft at like in New Mexico, but in the south part of New Mexico. And, and my husband was like, are you sure? Because my son is like not sleeping well. And, he was a little, whiny and stuff. And I was like, no, because I mean, that he can't sleep here or that he can't sleep in a cabin. Let's travel, let's do it. And we just went and we had the most amazing time. And yeah, he didn't sleep too good, but we were somewhere else and we were taking the time to just be as a family, be outside and do stuff. And that's going to be my advice. Please do things.
Yes. I think that could turn pretty dangerous though, because at some point, like if because my parents were kind of like that too, it's a lot of things that they didn't do because work or this and that, right. And I think that creates some resentment towards yourself, and that's not good. Because I kind of, at the beginning, because I don't like to be at home. I'm always here or there. I don't like to be at home. I get boring pretty fast at home, and at home I have a lot of stuff to keep me busy too. So I not. So I'm that kind of person. My wife is a homebody. She doesn't like to hang out. She's a more to stay at home person. So at the beginning of when Isabella born, it kind of shocked me that there's a lot of things that I wanted to do, and I started kind of like feeling down, like I didn't understood at first what it was, but after I passed it, I'm like, oh, so that's what it is. I was just not doing being out there, what I like, and it just gets you bored and grumpy.
And then, I mean, you're younger than me too, but sometimes we have that too with my husband, where it's like we just would like to chill, and for my husband to be able to go and play the game, and me just be in front of a show and just do nothing. And it can only happen when my son is asleep, because then, other than that, otherwise,
that's when the day starts.
Yeah, but and sometimes it's hard because you miss that life a little bit, but it's over. It's like that life is never going to come back. But I was telling my husband, is like, no, but it's also, we have to work around each other, right? And if you feel like you need time to yourself and you want to go play the game, then I'll take over. And then vice versa. If I want to take a bath and, and have a time to myself, then I just go and you take over with our son. And so we try to give each other like some time off. But I mean, those little children, they're amazing, and at the same time, they're a lot. So,
they're a lot.
Is your wife's family around? Do you guys get a little help from her family?
So not really. She doesn't really have a good relationship with her family, like
Close
cousins,
family.
brothers, and stuff like that. So, and my family's not here, so not really.
So you're alone.
We don't have no help, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the same. So my family's not here, and then Josh's family, they help when they can, but they work full time all the time, and so it's really hard. And it's the way it is. So that's why we say we take care of our son, and it's our son. So it's like, okay, yeah, I know it's my son. I'm supposed to take care of him, but when you're pregnant, everybody says, "Oh, it takes a village to raise a child." Our village is very, very inexistent, but and that's the way it is. But sometimes you need those time off. So I mean, I live far. I live in Edgewood, but if you guys never ever needs a time off, we can have Isabella and Jean-Pierre have a play date, and we can kind of like maybe help each other out too.
That would be nice. Yeah, now we do have daycare now, and we've been sending her 3 days a week, and I use that time just to do the things that I cannot do when I'm with her, because I like to work on motorcycles a lot. I spend a lot of time in the garage when I have projects, and I would love for her to be there watching, but it's just not a good environment for her with the chemicals. And stuff,
yeah, that's true.
And dangerous tools and stuff like that. So when I send her, sometimes I like to do that, and that, even though I'm at home, that's one of those things that I can do at home that makes me feel good.
Yeah. Oh. And see, now that we're talking about daycare, I don't know if you know, Lester, but we actually learned not too long ago, so that's going to be typical just for like New Mexico people, but when we started our son in daycare in January, the daycare told us to apply for, it's called a ECECD contract. And so it's a contract with, I think, the states, but so you file paperwork, and it's supposed to help you pay for daycare. But then when we filed the paperwork and stuff, then they I think they said that we were supposed, the daycare that we go to, it's a really expensive daycare. We would, honestly, I don't think we would be able to pay for it if we didn't get the help. But at first they were saying that they would help us, and we would have to pay, instead of $1,200 a month, we would have to pay, I think, $400. So that was a relief. But then the thing is, apparently New Mexico, like the state of New Mexico, pays for the rest. So right now we don't pay anything for daycare.
Yeah, I don't think we're not paying anything for it.
Okay.
We never, since we got. Yeah.
Okay. But you didn't have to file anything, because for us we had to file that paperwork.
Honestly, my wife was the one doing all that.
Oh,
but
there we go.
She
See,
had to apply for
Might
some
have been.
help and stuff, and they got us into a program.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to pay nothing.
But see, I feel like some people don't know that. And so, because for me, when we didn't want to put him in another daycare, because that daycare is amazing. And then we heard some bad stuff about the daycare around where we live. And so, but if we had to pay, it would have been terrible. $1,200 a month. It's a whole salary, for half of one of our salaries. So it's like, so yeah. But so in New Mexico, if you have a child in daycare and you're paying for daycare, please go check the ECECD contract and get help, because anything helps, right? When you're a parent, any little cent help to take care of your home and your baby and
yes,
all that good stuff.
Talking about that help, they also have good programs here for education, though.
Okay.
I believe this is the only state or one of the first states offering that free education programs, but it's really nice. I have a friend that he went through a program called Deep Dive from CNM, and they basically are technological part of CNM, and he didn't have to pay nothing. He went through the whole thing.
There we go.
They take care of it.
That's
really
good,
nice.
because
Yes.
I mean, that's the first thing when I came here to when I moved here. My husband, he had still he owed money from student loan, and so I came with a little bit of money, and it was actually just the amount that he owed, and I was like, here, well, we're gonna pay that off, because I don't want to pay interest. I don't want us to have this like debt, and and then we would just like clean slate for, to start living together. And but yeah, I know that some people owe so much money for their studies. That's crazy.
My wife's so old and
Oh yeah. What does your wife do?
dental hygienist.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, she clean tooth and
That's crazy. That's amazing. Okay. That's yeah, that's a very I'm sure she has crazy stories too about her job and
oh yeah. 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 I don't know how people like to talk with it. When I go to the dentist, I'm like, the doctor asks me, and I'm like, well, how am I going to answer?
Right? I'm like, well.
But there's people that like to talk a lot. She always have histories of people just telling her all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, how can they do that?
I know, and it's funny because when I have a dentist appointment next week, but every time like they ask a lot of questions too, and they're busy like cleaning your teeth, and they're like, oh yeah, and so what do you do for a living? And you're like,
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That is. Oh, that's fun though. Okay. Perfect. Okay, Lester, you know that in the show we have a little tradition. We have two traditions, but one of them is for you to pick a card from each stack. One is a life question and one is an expression. If you want to pick a card out of...
Okay, let's see. This is a life questions. Wow. How does these cards work? Like, what is the trick here? So this says, what does happiness mean to you? Isn't that crazy? That's just weird. I don't know. Like, it happens every episode. It's just like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Those cards have some kind of weird voodoo or something. Yes,
it's like
but what happiness?
Magic.
Wow, what happiness means to me. Wow, that's a deep question. It's a really deep question. But I think happiness, I don't even know how I describe what it means to me. I just know that I need it. That I need it. I look forward for it, and I will take any excuse to get there. I will take any excuse just to feel happy. I will take any excuse just to have a good laugh with some. And I'm a pretty introverted person, but I like just to sometimes just like have these conversations with these random people and see what we can laugh about. And that's what happiness means to me. Just like bring that positivity into my life. And there's just so much stuff, bad stuff always going around in the world. There's always stuff to be worried about. But I don't like to focus on those. I like to see the positive, and for me that's happiness. Just see the positive and live that way, man.
Well, thank you for saying that, because see, I feel like a lot of people stay in their negativity, or and it's I'm really glad that you got that card, and that also it's great. It's nice that's why you say you want to just focus on bringing the positive in your life, because see, like I'll talk about her in a minute, but you've heard her story. I talked about this, that the girl that got shot in the head, and that's something she says is when you like to find something that makes you happy and to do it a lot, just do it a lot, because, and I feel like we're the first generation to take care of our happiness and our mental health, and just make sure that we enjoy the journey, and we don't just work to maybe enjoy when we're 60. No, we want to enjoy the ride too. So thank you for your answer.
Yes. Let's see what this one says. I'm curious now. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. Steve Jobs. I'm telling you, these cards, they have something, man. They have something.
I love this.
That's amazing.
That's exactly what you're doing and what we were talking about.
Yes, that's amazing.
That's amazing. And so see, we were talking about, you and your journey of graphic design and multimedia. Is it something that your parents always pushed you to do? Did you always have the support of your parents or your family?
Since I started studying another career, when I told my dad that I want to change, he was kind of shocked. But he was pretty supportive. I think he then tell me, if you think that's what you want to do, just go for it. Just go for it. And from there on, they've been supporting me on every step. When I wanted to open the business, they I always have them support. I really appreciate my parents and my family, my sisters, my brother especially. Without my brother, there was a lot of things that I he's my big brother. At the end, that's why.
Okay, so if it's okay for me to ask, so you said you have two sisters and a half brother, and then
No, he's not a half brother. He's not my brother
okay.
by blood.
Okay, he's
I
like a
choose
brother,
him.
brother.
We
Okay.
choose each other to be our brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
But-
Okay, I understand. Yeah, and sometimes families not it, like for someone for you to call them family doesn't have to be blood related.
Yes.
And that's pretty special when you get to choose who's part of your life, right?
Yes.
I'm going through that a lot too because growing up, I come from a big family, but I'm far from my family. And then there's been a lot of like conflict in my family this past few years. And so I'm learning to branch out and be okay that it's sometimes family is not there for you, but then you choose your family. You choose the people that are going to be part of your inner circle and yeah, that's pretty fun. That's pretty fun. Okay. So, I have another tradition in the show is that as you know, so the previous guest has asked a question to the next guest with not knowing who it's going to be. And I mean, you heard the question because you were there when Frankie asked the question. But his question to you is going to be, what would the last song you... Attends. Okay, I don't know what I wrote. What is the last song you would listen before you die? And then there's another question. What would be your funeral song? So the song they would put at your funeral. Is that gonna be a Daddy Yankee? The
I was thinking on that. No, it was Daddy Yankee. Daddy Talks is a song that talks actually about the funeral. But I don't remember if it was Daddy Yankee. But it was from that movement back then. But honestly, like, I don't know. Like, I have things about funerals. I don't like them, so I don't even know if I have one. If I probably. I'm not gonna get to choose that probably, but if I can request it, it would be nice. There's no way to.
Well, you see, the thing is, for me, like my dad always said, when I die, I want my funeral to be a party. He said, I don't want anybody to cry, and I was like, well, good luck with that. But he said, I don't want nobody to cry, and I want everybody to just, you put music on, and it's a party. So you can request, I mean,
a party sounds
right.
I mean, like that's a. Wow, like your dad is somebody that I will definitely like to sit and have a conversation with, because I wonder where does that come from. Like, it's just an interesting thought process.
Yeah, that's true.
And a really interesting thought process. But I don't think I would want a funeral. But if I have to pick a song for it, I will probably pick something happy, some bachata, man. Just have a drink, then some bachata. That's okay. I'm already gone. I'm not gonna come back. Like, yeah.
And see, it made me think of something because I think it's yesterday or the day before when I went to work. I like to listen to podcasts in the car. Except when I start at 5:30 in the morning, I have to put music because I have to wake up on the way to work. And so I was listening. It's not going to mean anything to, listeners probably, except for the one listening from Belgium, sorry. But I heard this song. It's from this singer called Soprano. He's a French singer, and he has this song called Hero, and it's a beautiful song. And that song, every time I listen to it, I cry like a baby. And it's about, so basically, he wrote that song when he turned 30. And it's a whole song where he says he's kind of looking back, and it's like kind of turning 30 is a big deal, right? It's like you move to another stage of your life. And I'm 32, so I feel very strongly with that too. And the whole song is about what would he have done differently, or he wishes that he could have changed stuff in the world. And so, for example, he wishes that he would have gone back to like that accident of Lady Diana in Paris, and create like a traffic jam so that she wouldn't die there, or like a lot of like history events, like going back to Germany and have Hitler's parents never meet. And he's talking about, the whole song is about events that he would have prevented or gone back to and tried to not have them happen. And the end of the song goes, and he says that to take care of your family and the ones you love, tell them to love, that you love them, and that sometimes you can't go back on some things, because like for me, my mom is gone. My mom is dead, so there's no going back to talking to her. And so it's a really, really emotional song, but it says, all right, now you blow your 30 candles and you just keep going, and you can't change the past, but you have an effect on your present and your future, so do something. And so that song is just crazy. I'll probably try to put it somewhere in the description, but it's in French. And then there's another song from him that's called En Feu, that means on fire, and that song is just like super like dancey and like energetic. And so I feel like I was gonna ask you if you can name like a song that makes you emotional and a song that makes you really happy. What would those songs be?
Ooh, that's really good. So a song that makes me emotional. Wow. Well, for my generation, I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be identified with that "See You Again" song when Paul Walker died. Like, what? That's one of the songs. Like every time you hear it, it just brings you a bad memory. Cause, and there's a couple more. There's a one about Kobe Bryant too, from Bad Bunny, that every time that I hear it, I get, because I really like it when I was younger and I watched more NBA and stuff. Mm-mm. And then a happy song that always is gonna uplift me. There's a lot of those. Give me 1 second, because
you're good.
This is like a important decision.
Yeah, right.
I think I'll choose Mudanza de Bad Bunny.
Okay.
I think I've been jamming with that lately a lot, because I have a lot of like older songs that I listen to, but that's one of the most recent ones.
Okay. And you know what? I'm just thinking I'm going to start a playlist on Spotify with all the favorite, like one emotional and one of happy song from all my guests.
Yes.
And let's make a big playlist.
That'll be nice. Yes. That's a
right?
good idea.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So Lester, maybe we can even do that offline. Well, you can write your question or tell me your question for the next guest. But so, is there anything you would like to talk to us about today?
Honestly, I don't know. Is there anything you like to talk about?
No, I just loved, because I mean, you're always in my like peripheral vision right there. You're taking care of business,
that's how it looks,
and in the corner. Yeah. And it's funny because I don't really see you, but when I see you is when you're like, and then I know there's like some sort of
not good
something going on. But no, you've been really kind to me, and it's been such a pleasure to do business with you and grow my podcast with you. And I hope this is gonna just go for a long time. All I wish you is the best, because I know how hard it is, and then on top of it, now you're telling me that you're trying to do additional stuff to make sure that you keep going. So if you have any plans, or if you need a studio to record a song, to like, if you want to promote your studio, please go ahead. Like
oh no, yeah, like I feel like honestly you guys are seeing it. You guys are seeing it. You guys can find us on our website or Instagram and shoot us a text, any question, we'll answer it, and we can schedule a tour. You guys can come and see it, and let's do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like your pricing are really affordable. Your prices are really affordable. And I know you're trying to uplift the community and give a space for creative people. So that's pretty cool. There is a booth for you to record episodes or songs or anything that you would like to do. And here we have a just like one-on-one setup, but you can record podcast episode or even just like videos with up to 4 people. There's this setup at the table, but behind Lester you can see some chairs, and there is like a more like casual setup too. So yeah, don't hesitate to shoot Lester a DM or a text, or check the website. We'll put it on the screen just to make sure that everybody sees it. And yeah, well then I guess that's outro time.
Well, thank you. Thank
No,
you.
thank you.
I really appreciate the time here. And you know, I don't think it was I know I'll talk a lot of shit sometimes, but it was an interesting conversation.
Yeah, and then maybe we'll do an episode 2 in like a year or 2, and see how both of our English evolved, because my English is also needs
that'll be nice.
And see where we're at, right? That's gonna be the evolution.
Yes.
And then thank you so much. And so thank you for watching. I hope you had a good time, as much as we did. And thank you, Lester, and the Albuquerque Podcast Studio, to giving us a space to share our stories. And if you want to be part of the podcast, don't hesitate to contact me, or there's a form in my bio on Instagram. And we'll see you soon. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.